Today what we wanted to talk about is our tips for downsizing. I know there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are doing the same thing that we're doing, and everyone seems to have their own tips or their own recommendations on what they found to be helpful. We're not trying to recreate what they're doing. We're just letting you know what we've found helpful when we're downsizing.
Yeah, we've done a little bit so far, just kind of some little odds and ends, our closets, things that we can do without, and what we've seen is unnecessary for us.
So one of the things I wrote down when we started thinking about what we're going to talk about during this video is clothes. It just seems like a really easy thing for us. I'm sure anyone who's watching this video can probably attest that there's some stuff in their closet that they don't wear, that they don't touch. So it's an easy place to start out. It's kind of good to be willing to get rid of things, don't have, emotional attachments to clothing. I feel like we're at a point where all of our clothes that we have now serves a purpose. We just have more than we need.
Right, and when we first went through our clothes, it was kind of like, well, we're still going to keep it for now because we are still working. Like Andrew said, there's some clothes that we don't really like the way they fit, don't fit quite right. We're not a huge fan of them, so we're going to be getting rid of those.
The other thing I have written down is just kitchen stuff. So kitchen gadgets, tools, things that you don't use in the kitchen to prepare food. We all love our big kitchens and we love the big cooking prep space, but we also have lots of cabinet space then, and cabinet space just fills up. On a weekly basis, the amount of things that you actually need to use in your kitchen dwindles to be a pretty small list. So when we were going through our kitchen, there was pots and pans that we use very, very little, or maybe we've never even used at all because they're too big. Like there's some cookie sheets that don't even fit in our oven that we still have, I think. I'm pretty sure we still have those, and we have no use for that, especially once we get into the RV. It's not really like there's a huge amount of stuff in our kitchen that we need to get rid of that we don't use, but there's a lot of doubles, duplicates, and
or things that we just used very rarely that we could do without, but we bought it because it was helpful or useful at the time.
And I found, when we're still in the house, it's nice to have, 6-7 plates, just in case, because we have a dishwasher now, so we're obviously going to take advantage of that as long as we can. Once we're in the RV, 2-3 plates is going to be just fine. 2-3 forks is going to be just fine. We're not going to need a giant stack of stuff. And we've talked a lot about, disposable options and considering that. So we're not sure what we're going to do quite yet. We're going to keep it pretty minimal though, that's for sure.
Yep, because it's just going to be the three of us in the RV.
The other thing, and the last thing that I wrote down, at least, stuff right off the top of my head that I knew is really easy to go through and really easy to downsize is like garage and shed stuff. So this is something that, if I'm being completely honest, we haven't done much with. But when I think about it, I know that there's a lot of stuff in the garage and in the basement even that's kind of overflowed from the garage that is useless. I probably have like 4 bottles of 5W30 oil down there that, I'm sitting on until I need it, so I'm never going to use this oil unless I need a top up.
Well, and just a lot of tools and stuff that, again, we bought for a single purpose, or we bought to have, and we're probably not going to be using them all as much, or we'll just kind of sit down with all the tools and go through and just make complete sets.
The other thing too that I made a quick note of to talk about is projects, like old projects. Like I have stuff that may not work correctly, or it may have broken, and I was like, maybe I can fix this. I'll tear it apart and look at it, and either I didn't tear it apart or I tore it apart and I couldn't do anything with it yet, or I didn't know what I was doing. And I leave these things around because I feel like I'm going to be able to do it someday. And that's kind of the lifestyle that we're trying to give up. And all the stuff that I have that were projects are things that, if I'm being fair, even if I got them completed, they're not things that are going to benefit our day-to-day life.
I think a lot of people do that, things they need to fix, because I'm that way with like craft projects, like, oh, like that looks really cute, or oh, I'm going to keep that because I'll do this with it, and I never got to it. I've loved doing crafts, but I just didn't have the time or didn't have the energy to do it at the time when I first thought of it, and now it's just sitting and being unused or untouched.
And on the note of kind of crafty projects, we're gonna hop into the bedroom next. We'll talk about one project that we're starting that's I feel like it's fairly RV oriented. We're definitely doing it because of that.
So we got one of these blankets at a Christmas recently, and it was so soft and so warm. We started fighting over who was gonna have the blanket. And I found out where it was purchased and went out and bought a second one, so we each had our own blanket. And now we're finding that because it's cold right now, we're each sleeping with this blanket. And we had this idea of getting fabric and making our own because it's going to be pretty simple. So we're going to make a comforter out of similar materials, and that'll come with us into the RV. That's going to be our next project. We just have to go out and find the materials that we like.
We might end up keeping these still, but I think once we have the big one, we'll use these a lot less, and they might have to find their way to somebody else's house to keep them warm. So.
Or Harper could use one.
Or Harper could use one. All right, so next up, we're gonna go through my closet. And the reason I'm choosing to do this is because I have some things that I've been kind of keeping up, or keeping in my closet that I've been meaning to get rid of and I haven't quite yet. Some of the big stuff, this is old logo stuff that I can't wear at my current job any longer. We changed our logo and I can't wear the old stuff, so that's gone. There's another one that's here that's gone. And we're able to successfully get rid of a bunch of clothes.
I haven't gone through my closet as much as when we did it the first time. That I probably just need to go through and try on and figure out if it's gonna work or not. As far as like Harper's clothes, right now when she outgrows them, my sister is due in 5 weeks with the baby girl, so we just pack all those things up and bring them over to her house because her baby girl can wear them. So we just kind of cut the clutter with Harper's clothes as she outgrows them.
Say hello. Thanks for joining us for this video of Pulling on the Road. And of course, if you like what you saw, leave us a like. But please leave us a subscribe because this is kind of some fun stuff for us and it's really exciting and we want to share it with more people.
Well, we'll catch you later.